For coming out tonight. My name is Stoney Stitzle. I was born in Brazil, Indiana in June of 1943. Fantastic month, fantastic city, fantastic year. All right, now, I know there's one gentleman over there. Are there other ladies and gentlemen here who went to Van Buren? Okay, good. So we feel sorry for everybody that didn't. Okay. Now, before I get started, I'm going to show you this thing. I need to get it matted. Yeah, what I'm going to do is pass it around. This is a little poster that a gentleman drew, and it has to do with all of the Army units that were involved in Lam Son 719. This is back in 1972, if I remember, after my time. But the thing of it is, it shows the Army aircraft. So let me just put this down here and let you pass it around. Let the people take a look at it. Now, every occupation has its own vocabulary. So I'm going to start off with some terms first. One, assault helicopter company. I was in an assault helicopter company the first year I was there. This little news article that was being passed around basically covers when I came back from my first year in Vietnam. First year was May of 66 to May of 67. Second year was October 68 to October 69. And I flew UH-1s, better known as Hueys, in both of them. So the first year I was over there, I was in an assault helicopter company. Assault. Well, that was our specialty. We loaded troops and took them into LZs. We assaulted the landing zone. LZ, that's where you land the people at. PZ, pickup zone, that's where you pick them up, pick up people at. So I'll say LZ, I'll say PZ, I'll say assault helicopter. Yeah. One of the questions that comes up, were you ever shot down? No, I was never shot down. I was shot up. There's a difference. There's a difference. Anybody here in the Air Force knows about people being shot down? Okay. Basically, when you're flying someplace and they shoot you down, you're going right down there from where they were shooting. Not the best place to land at. Now, if you're shot up, I can go over there. I can get farther away from where. So I was shot up. Your aircraft is still flyable, but you can use it to get to someplace that may be a little more friendly. So I was never shot down, but I was shot up 5 times. Close counts in horseshoes, thermonuclear weapons. So, I was in the Army. I didn't go in to be a helicopter pilot. Didn't know Army had helicopter pilots. Well, at the time I went in, they didn't have this program. And while I was in and serving down at Fort Gordon, they said, we've got a new program. If any enlisted person wants to go to flight school, we have a program, Warrant Officer Candidate. We will train you to fly a helicopter, and then you'll be a warrant officer. So I said, okay, I volunteered. I always liked aircraft, so they went through the testing process, medical, flight physical, your name's in the pile, wait. Well, finally selected, I got orders to assign to Fort Walters, Texas, and that's where I flew the OH-23. That's what I initially trained in. And I was a warrant officer candidate. Well, we're getting back to vocabulary. I was a WOC, Warrant Officer Candidate. What's a WOC? It's what you throw at a wabbit. So the first 100 hours or so was at Fort Walters. You learned to fly, and then you went to Fort Rucker for advanced training. How many people have last names that put them at the end of the alphabet? Like Stitzle? Anybody else have the curse W's? Anybody else have the curse of the end of the alphabet? Okay. Well, finished Fort Walters and said, gee whiz, there's too many people to go to Fort Rucker. They can't handle all of you. Some of you will have to stay back here. Stitzle, Savelli, Southern, Young, Thomas, Smith. Okay, the curse of the end of the alphabet. And we go to Fort Rucker. Okay, now we're ready. First thing is instruments. 50 hours of instrument training. Instrument training. Flying the aircraft in reference to the instruments rather than outside. They take us to the instrument training facility, Shell Army Airfield, OH or TH-13Ts. And they start matching us up. All the candidates are standing up over the wall, and they call over, you're assigned to that instructor. Yes, sir, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And we're standing, Stitzle, Savelli, Seventh, Young, Thomas. They're out of instructors. You people have to go over to Hanchy and take your instruments in UH-1s. Being at the end of the alphabet finally paid off. So I had 50 hours of UH-1 time before the other guys came through instruments, even saw. You had a chance to sit here. Helped out good. They were helped out tremendously. Okay, graduated. Had 30 days leave en route to Vietnam. You fly into Vietnam, land at Tan Son Nhut at Saigon. Okay, this is a war. This is war country. We take our bags, put them on a stake bed truck. The stake bed truck goes off. They load us in buses. And the buses have got big wire screens over the window. We're going to Camp Alpha, which is the replacement depot. And I'm sitting there looking through. I'm just waiting for somebody to come by on a bicycle and throw a hand grenade at their windows. Get over to Camp Alpha, pick up our bags, start to talk to the guys that have got there ahead of us. Find out I haven't got off the airbase yet. Okay, I haven't got off the airbase yet and I'm a nervous wreck. How's this going to work out the rest of the year? Okay, signed up, finally went to a group, went up to Don Batten, 10th Battalion. And then they're sending a ship for you from Phan Rang. That's where the base camp was. The 48th Assault Helicopter Company. And I see this UH-1D coming into land. And you'll see some pictures of some D models in there. I've never seen a D model before. I don't know if I can fly this big thing. So a guy comes in, I throw him my bag. He says, can I fly this? You know, this flies just like an A or a B model. Okay, well now. So, an assault helicopter company, we were non-divisional aviation. Okay? You've heard of the 101st Airborne Division. You've heard of the 1st Infantry Division. You've heard of the 1st Cavalry Division. All those divisions have division assets. They have aviation, they have artillery, they have maintenance, they have engineering, they have everything to function. But when they go on operations, a lot of times they augment. They bring in more artillery, they bring in more armor, they bring in more engineers, they bring in everything. Well, the 48th Assault Helicopter Company was in the 1st Aviation Brigade. We were not assigned to a division. And what this means is Okay, you're going over there where that division is having an operation. You go over there and support them. Their operation is weeks, months long, however long it is. We take them out, bring them back in. Okay, they're standing. Oh, this other. So then you go over there. Then you go over there. Then you go over there. Van Rang was our base camp. Checked into the company. Went on a couple of R&Rs. Checked out of the company. I spent 9 nights in the base camp. Slept in tents. Oh, first tent we had over there, it was a 3-man Arctic Hex tent. Arctic Hex tent in South Vietnam. Okay. That's okay. They didn't last very long. They got shredded up. Sometimes we just slept in the helicopters. Sometimes we just put a cot out, settled the cot, didn't even have a tent up. If any of you have internet access, you can type in 48th Assault Helicopter Company in the search engine, or Stoney Stitzle in the search engine, and you'll see pictures. I mean, there's a picture, people just laying on cots and right out in the weeds. Well, we flew in there because the next morning we're going to be leaving, so we didn't. There were no tent. I'm not even sure where our tents were because we were going from point A to point B. But it was just nomadic life. Somebody always takes notes and everything, but somebody figured out that the entire company moved an average of 150 miles every 2.5 weeks. We'd be here, we'd be there. And our maintenance would be all over the place. Okay, the first place I joined the company up was Dak To. And first of all, Vietnam, it's a beautiful country. It is absolutely gorgeous. Too bad that there's problems going on there. Oh, here's something else I can pass around. This is a little book of, you people probably remember World War II, where the people decorated their vehicles and their aircraft. Well, this is pictures of people decorating their helicopters. Okay. We're up in Dak To. If you do look at those pictures, one of the pictures you will see will be a dead water buffalo laying in the weeds. And if you look real close, you'll see this circle of barbed wire, which is concertina wire. We had 1 wire, we had 2, and we had the 3rd one. This side of the barbed wire were the good guys. The other side of the barbed wire were the bad guys. That's a lot of protection between you and the bad guys. Anyway, the dead water buffalo. The guards on the perimeter at night heard motion outside the fence. They opened fire. We had barbecued water buffalo. All right, now, while we're at Dak To, this is going to be my first war story. Now, you have to understand the difference between a war story and a fairy tale. Now, a fairy tale starts out once upon a time. And a war story starts out, now this is no shit. Okay. Now, I'm new in country. I haven't got any experience in Vietnam, and the unit that I went to had gone to Vietnam by boat. They were all there together. They were old hands at this stuff. So I'm going to be a co-pilot or Peter pilot for God knows how long. Well, in June the 6th, Bill Moore, which is my aircraft commander and bringing me up on how things work, we were out flying, and there was a radio relay site on a little hill called Tumarong. They couldn't secure it, so they were going to evacuate it. Is anybody squirmish about squiggly, wiggly things? That's okay, I don't have anything about them. I just got this thing. Anyway, Bill Moore and I are one of the ships that are tasked to bring the people out. Now, the LZ that we're picking these people up can handle one ship at a time. And it's sort of like a little finger land sticking out pointing to the north. So we're making our approach. We land. They jump up behind the grass or the rocks and jump in, and we take off. And as soon as we take off, they jump in and we take off, the next ship lands. Well, Bill Moore's making the flight and I'm observing, and the other strip of land is down about where Page's is. And it's a little finger of land pointing to the south. And between those two fingers of land, drops down, there's a little trail, drops down, there's a little stream, and comes back up to the second finger of land. They're shooting at us. And we have suppression. They have U.S. Air Force F-4s are bombing the northern finger of land to keep them down so we can go in and pick people up and bring them out. And I'm sitting on the right side of the UH-1, the side closest to where they're shooting from. And I look over, and here comes this F-4. He's gone in on target, he's pulling up. From the aft cockpit all the way back is nothing but a ball of fire. And I'm sitting there, they're shooting F-4s out of the sky, and they want us to land here. Well, you land there, that's your job. Well, anyway, we got the people extracted, we pulled them out, we dropped them back off, and then when we land, crew chief comes up, running up, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. Well, my first bullet hole. Now, we picked up a bullet hole. It went through the tail boom, went through the tail rotor drive shaft cover, went through the tail rotor drive shaft. Now, I didn't steal this from the government. This is non-repairable. It's trash. Now, this goes back from the main transmission back to the tail rotor. In flight at cruise speed, if the tail rotor fails to turn, not a bad thing. You can keep on going. But when you try and slow down to land, generally you land at a hover, the fuselage wants to start turning at the same RPM the rotor is, but in the opposite direction. Well, to control that, you push on the pedal. But in this case, you push the left pedal to keep the nose going left. And the rotor's going the other way. Well, we didn't know that, and if this tail rotor drive shaft segment had broken, as we came into a hover, the fuselage would start spinning the opposite direction of the rotor, and it was, oh, we have a problem. So there are procedures. Generally at that point, you roll the throttle off, which gets rid of the torque, and you go down. Hopefully you figure this out early. If you're slowing down and you notice this yaw and you can't control it, got a tail rotor problem, what you do then is you find a hard surfaced runway and you try and slide the aircraft on. You keep it up, speed up, so the airstream will stream by the tail and streamline it. But then you slide it on. You want to find a hard surface because if you notice these UH-1s don't have wheels. They have skids. If you start getting sideways and one of the skids catches, you have a tendency to roll upside down. So you want a nice hard surface rather than a soft surface. Well, the maintenance people took this out. They put patches across the tail boom, and they were going to throw this away. And I said, excuse me, may I have that? Yeah. Like I said, thought it would make a great souvenir. First bullet hole. Some of the things that an only child does to a mother is probably best not said. Anyway, how do I get this back to the Brazil, Indiana from Dak To in Vietnam? Don't have any wrapping paper, don't have any boxes. Guy says, well, take it down to the APO down there. Now, the APO is one of these metal, a quarter-size metal shipping crate. And the guy has got his desk built up out of ammo boxes. That's the APO. So I walked down there and says, you got any ideas? He said, well, why don't you put your name and address and your mom's name and address on there, and we'll send it like that. I said, can't hurt it anymore. So we wrote it on there, put some tape over it. There you go. And I don't remember how long after that, got a letter from the folks that said, got a call from the post office that we think we got part of your son's helicopter down here. Okay, you're all interested in history. There's not one of you, I will guarantee you, hasn't looked at something around here and said, boy, I wish you could talk to me. I would love to hear the comments that were made about this thing as it went from Vietnam through the postal system and showed up at Brazil, Indiana. Okay. That was a shot up. Because once the aircraft got on the ground, it wasn't moving until it got repaired. And it didn't take maintenance long to get it repaired. We went from there to Tuiwa, fragrant flower. Beautiful little place, right on the South China Sea. We went to Tay Ninh. We took boom, 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 all over the place. We were down at Tuiwa. We were flying the people, and I was going into a landing zone, which was basically a cone of a hill, to pick up some people that had some foot injuries, not from fire, but trench foot and sprained ankles and stuff. Couldn't walk out. They were moving someplace else. So I went in. I was going in to pick them up. Okay, we picked them up. Almost. On short final into the LZ, somebody took offense, probably making too much noise for the neighbors, and started shooting. We lost our hydraulics. So we landed. Called maintenance, and the guy says, look, we're leaving. You guys are here. We can't secure the LZ. We're leaving. So maintenance was, you could hear maintenance flying around down below the cloud level. The clouds sometimes were just like this ceiling. Boom. There, you can't see it. But down below the ceiling, you can see forever. So we were up in the clouds, settled, and you could hear, you go over the edge of the hill. Yeah, it's clear down there, about another 100 feet or so. So, okay. UH-1 D models, B models, you can fly them without hydraulics. You don't move the controls, you sort of herd the controls. You push pressure in the jet, and then you push it out, and it's not pretty, but it can be done. So, okay, get on, we cranked it up. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to take a pull pitch, go off of this, and just push it down, and go down the side of the hill, get down below the clouds. Okay, and now and there's a little dirt airstrip over there. So head over there and try and get slowed down just as slow as you could and land the thing. Landed it, okay. Maintenance lands, okay. They take us back, and we give a replacement aircraft. That's shot up number 12. Later that day, a little farther to the south, we're putting in a LRP team, long-range reconnaissance. Now, the idea with the LRP team is they sneak in. How many of you heard the sounds of a UH-1 that makes? Whop, 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 whop. Yeah, you're going to sneak in with that thing. Okay, but if you're right down with the skids in the trees, they can hear you, but they really can't tell where you're coming from. So the LRPs, they said, okay, we want to go over there, someplace. We don't even know if there's a landing zone there yet. What you'd do with a LRP team, you'd figure out where they wanted to go, you'd figure out a prominent point, you'd get down, skids right in the tree, go buzzing, you'd go this way, this way, this way, turning to keep the people on the ground confused. You'd cross between your reference point, you'd go into deceleration looking for a place to land. To the place to land, and they were often gone. Okay, so we're down there, we go crossing over this one little tree line out of the jungle over a rice paddy, and I guess trees and shrubs at that time are probably about 10, 15 feet. And the next thing I know is somebody starts shooting. And I think it's the gunner, because that's how loud it sounds. What? And next thing I hear is I'm hit. Oh, and the LRPs in the back, they're running all over the place. So I call, we're taking fire, and I turn and leave. And the gunships that were following, they did something with the bad guys. And I took the ship back, to our rear area, which was Tuiwa, here to Terre Haute. Landed, told them on the radio we had wounded on board. The medics were there. Wasn't hurt that bad. Maintenance officer, okay, we got holes in the helicopter again. I said, there's a repair, Stitzle. That's the last one. That's 2 today. Not my plan. Okay.
End of the alphabet.